Hey guys, today we are talking about keeping an open mind. I had a client from across the country email me and he says, hey, we bought a car in 2013. I can admit it was a bad purchase because he got caught up in having this luxury car and he really didn't need a luxury car. Now, 5 years have gone by, he still has payments on that vehicle and still owes money on it, but the car is costing a lot of money to repair and things of that nature, and it doesn't have enough space for the family. So he's open to the idea of looking at new possibilities for his automobile choices, like leasing. And so it struck me, I was like, wow, that's really good that you're able to look at something different. You know, we all want to think that we know the answers, right? We all want to say we know the answers. You know, I've got a dad, love my dad, and he taught me a lot. But one thing that I'm learning as I get older is that there's always got to be room for growth in my brain. I've always got to be able to look at other things and use discernment instead of just saying that I know it all. So let's talk about the example today. The example is this customer. He's like, hey, I got an Audi. I didn't really need an Audi. Been driving this thing for a while. It costs a lot to repair. What are some options for my family, Ronnie? I want to open my mind to different possibilities. So, you know, we're going to probably discuss leasing. We're going to discuss some other options for him and his family. But just that he reached a point where he's like, you know what? I don't really need an Audi. I don't need this. I want to keep my mind open to the best thing for my family. And so when we move into discussing options for this guy, I wrote down a couple of things that I want to share with you as far as keeping an open mind when it comes to your cars. So if you got a second to write these down, you can comment about them in the comments, but check this out. Does your car payment prevent you from investing? Does your car payment prevent you from investing money in your future? And I'm not talking about just going to Cripple Creek this weekend. I'm talking about investing. Like every month you are paying yourself first. That's the mindset that we have to have when I'm talking about keeping your open mind. You know, if your car payment's $800 a month, could you be driving a car that's only $400 a month and then taking that other $400 and investing in long-term investments? It's a question we should be asking ourselves, you know. So the next thing I wrote down was, is your car still under factory warranty? Is your vehicle still covered by Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet, Hyundai? Is your car covered under a factory warranty, or are you still making payments on a vehicle that could potentially break and you have nobody to go to fix it? So if that's the case, you have to start asking yourself, do you have money set aside for an emergency? You know, if you've got this car that has no warranty and you've got a $500 a month payment, are you at least putting away a couple $100 a month in case it needs something? Have you looked at your tires to see if you're going to need tires? Things of that nature. I mean, I'm not saying everything is going to go down the drain and we need to have total emergencies fund for the car, but we got to have a plan. You know, so having a credit card that you have in a safe that has a $5,000 limit would probably be a good place for some of us to start. You know, so we can have that availability if your transmission stops working or whatever the case is. So the next thing I wrote down was, do you owe more in your car than what your car is actually worth? So you have a car that's worth $15,000. Do you owe $20,000 on that car? And if you do, if that's your situation, it's time to start looking at that and figuring out your exit strategy or what you're going to do. Because so many of us, we just get that car payment and we just keep driving that car and we wait for the next emergency to happen. And if you looked at some of my older videos, I talked about if you have money set aside, if it's in your pocket, it will find an emergency to go to. And quite often, it's your car. Your car will find a way to break at the least opportune time. So keeping an open mind to the way we're using our money when it comes to our vehicles is what I wanted to talk to you about today specifically. You know, does your car payment prevent you from investing? If it does prevent you from investing, you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you need to be driving an Audi? You know, if you can't put a few $100s or $400 or $500 away a month because of that car payment, it's time to start saying, you know what, I'm the problem. I got to stop driving such nice stuff. I can get a nice car that's still under warranty and it's a Hyundai instead of an Audi. Is your car under factory warranty and you're still making payments on it? You know, that's something that, you know, guys, they're tough questions, but we got to start looking at this stuff. And do you owe more in your car than what the actual worth is right now? So how do you find that out? You can message me, post it in the comments box, or you can go to nada.com. nada.com. That is a place for you to look up the book value of your vehicle, so that you can see an area. It's a guide, but you can see, all right, this is what my car should be worth, this is how much I owe. And so you can have that in your mind and keep your mind open to something has to change. Like if you owe $20,000 on your car and you look it up on NADA and it says it's worth 15, then we cannot just continue to put our head in the sand and think it's all going to correct itself. We've got to start planning for the future. Yes, continue to make the payment, but what's the next step going to be? Maybe the answer for you is refinancing. Maybe sometimes you can get a better rate because it's been a couple of years and credit's gotten better, or the case may, whatever it is, and you can go ahead and refinance that car at a better rate. So questions to keep our minds open on. That was very interesting to get that email today. He was like, you know what, maybe I don't need to be driving such a nice car. For me, I found that once I put the car in the garage, close the garage and go in the house, nobody cares about the car anymore. And he even told me, it was so funny. I said, how's this luxury car been working out for you? He goes, well, I get a lot of comments at the gas station. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He goes, I don't even really want it, but I get a lot of comments at gas stations. When I pull in and fill it up, I get a lot of people that say it's a nice car, or whatever it is. And he's like, yeah, I don't really want that attention. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling you, man. And how do you like repairing that car? He's like, I do not like repairing this car. If your car payment's $800 and you're investing $100 a month, that car is always going to be worth less tomorrow than what it is today. So we've got to start thinking about those things. So I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was eye-opening for me, and I'm hoping that you're finding that you can open up your mind to different possibilities. Maybe you should be looking at leasing cars. Maybe you should be looking at shorter-term financing. Maybe you should look at not getting a car right now because you don't have a payment, but you do need to consider, well, wow, I don't have an emergency fund, so when my tires go bad, I'm going to need them. You don't want that extra money that you receive or that you make or your Christmas bonus to go into a set of tires. So it's good to start thinking about, all right, I've got 100,000 miles on my car. I know it's going to need tires or brakes or whatever. Go get a checkup and get them to give you a list of things that are going to happen over the next year, and then you can budget for it. It's a beautiful thing when you can budget for it. They're like, hey, you need $5,000 worth of stuff, but it doesn't need to be done right now. It's going to need to be done over the next year. And so you can divide that $5,000 by 12, $416 a month, guys, and 67 cents. So, if your car if it's going to need $5,000 over the next year, it's time to start budgeting $400. If you can't, Ronnie, I can't get to $400 a month to budget for my car. Okay, great. How close can you get to that number? This is investing into yourself, not giving me the money. This is just a list of repairs that are going to have to be done to your vehicle over the next year. So maybe that number for you is $200, and you can save as much as you can and get that first set of tires done, and then the transmission flush can wait a little bit longer. But what will happen is if you don't plan for it, an emergency will come up and it will make any penny in your pocket go to it. Emergencies trump everything. They basically just say, give me the money right now. And so we don't want to be stuck on the side of the road. So I hope that made sense to you guys today. Does your car payment prevent you from investing? If it does, it's time to start reconsidering it and keeping an open mind to looking at different ideas for yourself. Is your car under factory warranty? If not, it's time to start budgeting for repairs. And do you owe more in your car than what it's worth? That's okay. I mean, most people finance 100% of their car. They don't put a lot of cash down, and so immediately they're upside down. But there's got to be some type of plan. Let's not just keep our heads in the sand and not think about it. Let's go ahead and start planning, okay, I'm going to make another $100 a month on this car to pay it down, or I'm going to plan what's going to happen with the next vehicle. But once again, just keeping an open mind so that we can start looking at these options and not just letting them come up as emergencies and making these decisions in like 24 hours. So I hope that was helpful. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And if you have any questions, please post it in the comments box. We would love to have some feedback. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.